when you're advising a client, you're advising your clients on almost all the asset products, fixed income, derivatives, cash management, emergency fund, life insurance. So hi guys, and welcome to another video by MentorBees YouTube channel. My name is Alan Arundan. I'm a CFA charter holder, and today we'll be talking about career specific to wealth management, often taken different names to it. Financial advisory, someone would call it investment counselor, someone would call it relationship management, someone would call it mutual fund distribution. But what is the exact career path that you can avail? What are the qualifications you actually require? Is it really going to make any difference in terms of the salary? Right? So let's get cracking and first start discussing on what exactly is wealth management. What do we mean by wealth management? Right? Now, you have to understand that whenever we say wealth management, in a nutshell, all it means is that at one angle we have people who have the money. It could be institutions, it could be you and me, and on the other hand there are also providers of certain schemes in which your money gets managed. Now the person who actually makes them meet together in terms of the right product, the right advice, is actually wealth management. So wealth management is not fund management, direct fund management, but it's kind of a person who is bridging the gap. If you look at the statistics, there are about 1,479 schemes given by mutual funds, if we are just talking about mutual fund, right? And there are about 44 asset management companies like Franklin Templeton, HDFC, SBI, Birla. So for an individual client or for an institution, there are not enough resources for them to use and decide on which scheme to get into, right? And that's where wealth management comes into picture, right? Now let's start talking about the various career paths at level, right? So let's start by various roles that a person gets into as he enters this industry. Let's talk about the first role that usually a person will get into is relationship management. Now, what is expected of you? Now, this is, you could say, the most junior most role that a person tends to get, in which, of course, your primary responsibility is sourcing clients. See, there is no getting away from the fact that you need to generate clients, right? So, sourcing new clients, the understanding the needs of the customers in terms of their wealth management planning, understanding, what kinds of problems the customer might face as he gets onboarded in your company or wherever wealth management company that you're working for. You also need to keep a track on the client's performance overall, right? And liaising between the technical team at your firm and the client itself, because every time a technical person, a financial planner cannot get in touch with the client. So the relationship manager, as the name suggests, is actually maintaining the relationship, taking care of your clients as the client gets onboarded, right? So that's the first role. Now, if you talk about the salary, the initial salary is not very high. Of course, it is 3.06 plus incentive if you're performing very well. If we talk about the senior role on the same function, which is relationship manager, now instead of just maybe sourcing clients, now you're also responsible for other relationship managers who also are sourcing clients. So that means not only are you responsible for generating revenue from your clients, but you're also responsible for generating, making sure that your other relationship managers are also generating revenue, helping them, monitoring them, sometimes solving their problems, their clients' problems, escalated problems, and also training them to generate more clients and give better service, right? So this is what the second, usually in about, if you are a good performer, then in about 2 to 3 years you should reach here, right? Salary tends to increase at senior level somewhere between 6.2 lakhs per annum plus incentives on the performance of your team and you yourself, right? Now, it is of course recommended that at this stage you have acquired some advanced qualification in asset management. Either it's a premium MBA, either it's a CFP, or you have tried to get something like a CFA, which could help you in progressing to senior roles faster. Not just because of the qualification, but because of the knowledge. See, when you're advising clients, it is much more difficult than even equity research. Look at equity research, you're doing the same thing every day, right? You're creating the same financial model, so you're pretty aware of a certain sector. I'm not saying that equity research is absolutely easy start, right? But when you're advising a client, you're advising your clients on almost all the asset products: fixed income, derivatives, cash management, emergency fund, life insurance. So the amount of knowledge and awareness and the confidence is higher. Now that can only be got if you have specialized in your education. If you do not do that, like you are always, you will be running, to get some resources to learn about it, right? Of course, the experience element is always there, but if you have a base foundation knowledge, then that of course helps on where to look, right? So, for example, in CFA level 3, CFA level 3 is entirely about portfolio management of individual banks, foundations, life insurance companies. So that knowledge can be tapped into whenever you are dealing with clients, right? And it's also not it's not necessary that you're only managing just retail clients. You might be managing institutional clients. In that case, it becomes even more important for you to have such good knowledge base, right? Let's talk about the next step. Once a person graduates from relationship manager, he can now become a technical person as a person who actually designs the plan, right? This, of course, requires a lot of technical knowledge, some skills, and a lot of experience that comes in while creating financial plans. So, a technical person who actually creates, step by step a financial plan is what is called it's a senior position, and you might not get a lot of financial planners in an organization. And the salary is about 9 lakhs per annum plus bonus based on the performance. This cannot be made unless and until you have some good qualification background, because there will be a lot of people competing for this position, and you need to obviously set yourself aside or make yourself unique by getting some qualification, right? Now let's talk about the next position. Now this is where we're talking about progress, not just in terms of the qualification, but also in terms of the performance of revenue, right? Because at this stage in any business, any function, your role shifts from technical to more of business roles, right? So here, if in case you become an AVP for distribution, then you are responsible for creating those channels through which you are generating more clients. So that means making sure that you're onboarding the correct people in your distribution network for mutual funds or any other wealth products becomes your primary responsibility, rather than just probably generating just sales individually or in terms of a team, right? Now here, person is also expected, in terms of the seniority, to also think about opportunities by which you can generate more clients than just engaging with the existing clients. So here, you are expected to, probably give feedbacks to the product team. You are expected to improve the service for the clients. So it's more of a managerial role with obviously the revenue responsibility, which is obvious, right? Now, salary is at here. So now you can see the kind of jump that happens between, mid-level positions to senior levels, whereas the salary is as competitive as investment banking. So yours, your base salary is about 27 lakhs per annum plus bonus. And obviously qualifications we really don't even have to talk about, because unless you had the qualification and the experience together, it will be very difficult to compete just basis your knowledge also, right? Now, once you're done with AVP, then you start heading the vertical itself. So you might be heading the entire wealth division for the company, right? Now, this person obviously is responsible for everything. It's not just sales, it's not just products, it's not just the service delivery, but you are responsible for the entire wealth management function of the company, right? So I will not try to read with it. You can read it yourself. And now at this stage, the salaries can vary based on what size of wealth management company you are getting into. If you are getting into a bank, then of course your salaries can go up to 59 lakhs, right? If you're working specifically for family offices and wealth management service providers, then it can be as low as 32 also, right? So that's how the career path finally goes now. And the last question that everybody tends to have is, would you suggest CFP for a starter in this career. I would definitely suggest, not just from a salary point of view, because salary depends upon your performance, and the qualification cannot guarantee the performance, right? So, in terms of the technical knowledge, of course, because CFP qualification tends to give you the portfolio management experience for relationship management, for mutual fund, for wealth management industry directly. In CFA, you tend to have to wait till level 3 to actually learn those concepts, which you can actually learn the practical concepts very fast. Right? Given that, do not expect, a lot of candidates tend to expect that doing CFP will get them rid of sales. It does not happen, because you have to admit that if you are thinking about wealth management, then sales and people interaction is given, and you can't really do much. In fact, even CFA for that matters, a lot of 70% of the CFA chart holders in the US and then worldwide actually work in wealth management, not equity research and investment banking, right? Because wealth management is a far bigger industry than just equity research, right? Because a lot of problems, more problems are there to solve in wealth management than in equity research. In equity research, you just have one function to increase the brokerage if you're in the sell side. If you're in the buy side, of course, you are dealing with one scheme, right? But in wealth management, there are 10 different problems that you're solving, and hence, the expectation that there will be no client interaction and then you don't have to meet your clients, that's kind of, not well-found understanding of this field. So you have to understand this. Yes, if you are getting into a little premium companies in the wealth management area, then CFP might give you slight premium at the start, because you will be, the knowledge gap will not be there, and hence the training, effort of the client is lesser required. In fact, you might also be able to, lead through the roles. Maybe you can directly get into senior relationship management roles, but then given you have to understand that this field you will not be able to survive unless and until you have clients, and you have to have network of clients. You have to build trust, and it's actually not very difficult once you spend a little time here, right? And if you enjoy this, then of course it's fun, and then you'll appreciate whatever you've learned. It's pretty common sense, right? If you have done CFP, if you have the knowledge, and maybe 1-2 years you practice in the field, then your understanding of things are way ahead than probably a non-CFP or a non-qualified person for this field, right? And hence the customer automatically tends to gain the trust of the person who is talking to him, as opposed to a person who a client might ask a very simple question and he might say, "Oh, I'll get in touch with the boss." That might not give a very correct signal, right? And hence that is how the CFP or CFA program can actually help you in getting better niche jobs in this field, right? So that was a very short video on. I suppose it's not a very short video; it's a 17 minutes video already. But I hope the video helped in making you understand about the wealth management career, and I hope you take the correct decision. And if you like the video, please subscribe to our channel. And I'll come again next week